And now the latest around the wide world of tropics. Tropical Weather Bulletin for June the 12th. Here we are on day 163 of the year, June 12th, 2021. Nothing nameable is active right about now. However, that doesn't mean that there is absolutely nothing on the horizon at this current moment in time. Kicking things off with the Atlantic on day 12 of hurricane season, there is a 10% area of interest over in the main development region and a 20% area of interest in the Bay of Campeche. Each of these have a 10% and a 20% chance respectively of formation within 5 days. Jumping over to the Eastern Pacific now, 92E is back with a vengeance at 50% chance of formation within 5 days, and 93E is at a 30% chance of formation. However, it is rapidly running out of time as it traverses eastwards towards the Mexican coastline. Over in the Western Pacific, 92W is now at a 90% chance of formation and it could get named very soon. 93W, I should clarify, is currently being brought towards a subtropical jet stream and therefore we have axed it, so it is no longer being mapped. Jumping over into the North Indian, which is not quite done yet, as 94B is currently active with a 10% chance of formation within 5 days, as it is very close to land at this current moment in time. Jumping back into the North Atlantic, you can see the 20% area of interest over in the Bay of Campeche towards the left of your screen. You might be able to see the 10% over in the main development region. Unfortunately, this was the best imagery that I could find, and the North Atlantic is going dark, so I do apologize for this, but like I mentioned, this is the best that I could find. Back over in the Eastern Pacific, 92E is back on the menu and it looks fairly decent personally if you ask me, and 93E is losing time as it rapidly moves eastwards towards the Mexican coastline and it could contribute towards the area of interest over in the Bay of Campeche over in the Atlantic. Back into the Western Pacific as daybreak comes over the South China Sea and 92W. Basically, I think 92W is looking incredibly good with its 90% chance of formation. However, currently its convection is displaced and it is not over the center of the system. Back over into the North Indian Ocean, 94B is rapidly approaching the coast and thus has a 10% chance of formation within 5 days. Sea surface temperatures right now, the Western Pacific is still incredibly warm, some areas of the Western Pacific registering 30+ degree temperatures. The North Indian is continuing to get warm, there's 30 degree temperatures being registered in some areas of the Arabian Sea and the Bay of Bengal, which is a cause for concern. The Atlantic is also getting fairly warm. The Eastern Pacific is rather slowly getting there. The spot south of Mexico is a cause for concern as well. Sea surface temperature anomalies. The Eastern Pacific is still largely below average. The Northern Central Pacific is largely above average. The majority of the Atlantic is also above average, minus a bit of a line between Virginia and the United Kingdom yet again. The Western Pacific is also warmer than average, as well as the North Indian Ocean, which is also above average, minus a little bit of average and below average in the Arabian Sea. Super Typhoon Nestor peaked as a Category 5 2 days ago. On this day, June 12th, 1997. It has since weakened to a Category 4. Cyclone Kelly was also active as a Category 1 cyclone just west of the anti-meridian. It is quite rare in itself to have a South Pacific cyclone in June. And Blanca was a brief tropical storm, now on a weakening trend, which on this day in 1997 was downgraded to a tropical depression. Next up on the Atlantic storm naming list is Bill, followed by Claudette. Over in the Eastern Pacific, we have Carlos, followed by Dolores. Central Pacific, on list 1, we are still waiting on Hone. Over in the Western Pacific, on list 4, up next is Koguma, which we could be seeing fairly soon, and followed by Champi. Over in the North Indian, the next name is Gulab, followed by Shaheen. Over in the Australian region, up next on the list is Paddy, followed by Ruby. And over in the Southwest Indian, the next name on the list, should it form by the end of this month, is Kanga. After this month, we'll transfer over to a new naming list. And lastly, up next in the Fiji region, the next name is Cody, followed by Dovey. That's all for tonight's Tropical Weather Bulletin. We'll see you for another Tropical Weather Bulletin tomorrow night.